a breathtaking volcanic powerhouse in the West Indies, engineered with an elite offshore financial infrastructure to capture global wealth. Its signature twin mountain citadels serve as ancient geological sentinels, guarding a highly optimized, modern ecosystem. But behind the pristine emerald rainforests lies a sharp, data-driven environment, characterized by steep island import costs and intense seasonal hurricane divides. It is a landscape where remote builder client contracts from beachfront villa terraces, surrounded by raw, untamed jungle. Understanding this friction between exclusive luxury and local economic pressure is the only way to navigate the 144th reality of Saint Lucia without falling into a costly trap. To determine if this island serves your operational goals, we must define exactly who the infrastructure is built for. First, the high net worth investor, utilizing the jurisdiction for offshore banking and vetted real estate acquisition. Second, the digital creator, leveraging remote, hard currency incomes from the US or Europe to fund a seasonal winter base. And third, the standard nomad, searching for budget-friendly geo-arbitrage and local employment. This matrix breaks down the required capital against the projected lifestyle return for each of these three specific profiles. Notice the budget nomad column immediately hits a hostile economic barrier. The island structure actively resists low capital entry. Your incoming capital completely dictates whether Saint Lucia functions as a seamless tax sanctuary or a heavy financial drain. For straightforward entry, the island operates as an optimized Caribbean gateway, granting 90 days of frictionless, visa-free access to citizens of the US, Canada, the UK, and the European Union. Passports outside that exemption list, such as Indian nationals, process through a specialized global corridor via streamlined electronic travel authorizations or straight visas on arrival. The true leverage, however, lies in the 2026 citizenship frontier, Saint Lucia's world-renowned citizenship-by-investment program. This flowchart illustrates the baseline, deploying a non-refundable $240,000 into the National Economic Fund or into vetted luxury real estate. This capital deployment bypasses standard immigration, securing lifelong citizenship and immediate secondary passport access. To accurately calculate the cost of living, you start with the currency. The Eastern Caribbean dollar is rigidly pegged to the US dollar at a fixed rate of 2.7. This image of the commercial port illustrates the core economic challenge. Because Saint Lucia is a volcanic microstate, it relies heavily on maritime imports. This creates an island freight markup, adding steep taxes to specialized tech, dairy, and processed consumer goods. This discrepancy splits the daily dining experience. A basic meal at a local municipal spot runs about $10 to $20. While prime beachfront tourist enclaves quickly accelerate past $110 per head. Housing follows the exact same divide. Modest local flats average $500 a month, but a modernized one-bedroom inside elite sectors like Rodney Bay easily spikes past $2,200. The freight markup acts as an unavoidable, invisible tax that rapidly burns through the cash reserves of an unprepared expat. Domestically, the economy is anchored by heavy agricultural exports, primarily vast banana plantations, and traditional, labor-intensive cocoa processing facilities like this one, showing beans curing on wooden sliding trays. But local employment yields highly compressed baseline wages, averaging just $400 to $650 monthly. The premier operational strategy is to bypass the local job market entirely. Remote digital creators extract hard currency from the US or UK, taking advantage of competitive tax frameworks built specifically for international businesses. Maintaining an external revenue stream makes the island's premier experiences accessible: the ocean yachting networks, the Friday night Gross Islet street parties, and the intensely flavorful national Creole dish, green fig and saltfish. Your financial survival and your ability to actually enjoy this lifestyle requires completely decoupling your income from the local domestic economy. Saint Lucia is a monumental geological anomaly. Coastal villages sit directly in the shadow of sheer volcanic plugs rising straight from the ocean floor. It hosts the world's only drive-in volcano in Soufriere, allowing you to navigate a vehicle into a steaming, active caldera filled with bubbling sulfur pools. But this environment carries strict constraints. The island sits squarely in the active Atlantic belt, facing a heavy hurricane season from June to November that brings flash downpours and disrupts inter-island flights. The absolute prime operational window to live, travel, or film comfortably is the dry winter season, spanning from December to April. Setting up a base inside a UNESCO volcanic sanctuary demands strict temporal planning. You must align your presence with the dry months to avoid systemic weather disruptions. Saint Lucia is a sophisticated economic engine that explicitly rewards high capital and punishes low budgets. This scorecard maps who should commit. For the geopolitical optimizer seeking citizenship, it's a perfect match. For the remote creator, it's an excellent seasonal fit if you can absorb high rent. But the budget nomad must avoid this market entirely. Would you baseline your next remote creative workspace inside a dramatic volcanic sanctuary filled with elite luxury networks? Let us know below. Next stop, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the pristine sailing paradises and exclusive private island archipelagos of the Caribbean. Subscribe to stay real.